All right. Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Tyler Kearns. I am serving you as your international president this year. Like I said, this is my 5th year in CKI. I go to Boston University now, but I did my entire undergrad at St. Lawrence University in upstate New York. 2 years as an international trustee and this year as president. So I'm really happy that you are all joining us tonight. I'm gonna throw it to Michelle and Sam and Linda and Liz to all introduce themselves as well. So whoever out of them who wants to introduce themselves first can go for it.
I see myself first on the list. I guess that's because I've clicked myself on. Glenn Preskop in Santa Maria, California. 38 years old. 38 years old. Don't I wish? 38 years in Kiwanis. And we've been struggling to start a Circle K at a junior college, which I'm hoping to get some feedback and insight on. I believe that a junior college has unique considerations compared to a 4-year program, and I'm struggling with the transientness, the short-termness, and the fact that most of our students are working or are taking care of their children, their own children, or their siblings, and that they're working, going to school on the thin edge and spread pretty thin. So trying to get people like that committed to a service club is I'm finding to be really difficult. So that's enough for me for now.
Hi, everyone. I'll introduce myself. My name is Liz 70. My pronouns are they and theirs. I'm currently serving, sorry, my dog. I'm currently serving as Circle K International Vice President. I go to school at Mount Holyoke College in Western Massachusetts. It's my 3.5-ish year in Circle K. I chartered my home club in 2020. I served on the international board as trustee last year and vice president this year. And I'm really happy to be with you all today and hear about all the things that your clubs are working through at the moment.
Staff, go ahead and introduce the rest of the staff. Michelle Shilton, Program Director for Kiwanis Youth Program Service Leadership Programs. I am a year and a couple months into my role. Also serving as the interim CKI director until we find someone to fill that position. So excited to continue to meet new advisors every time we do this. So I'll let Sam take it away, and then maybe Linda can introduce herself, and then we'll go ahead and let Tyler keep going.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I had to make sure my toddler, you'll see a little one sitting on my lap every once in a while, but that's my daughter, Lily. I am Samantha. I am the Circle K program specialist. I assist Michelle right now until we get the new director. But I do a lot of the administrative stuff. I work really closely with the board. I do a lot of their travel and just little logistical things for them. And I'm the board mom. But I've been at Kiwanis for 6 years, and yeah, so I'm happy to be here. And if you ever need anything, please just shoot me an email. Always happy to help. So Linda, take it away.
Hey, thanks, Sam. And glad so many are here for the meeting tonight. My name is Linda Lother, as you see on the screen. I am a Kiwanis International Board trustee. And one of my assignments this year is being counselor to the CKI International Board. So I get the great privilege and honor of working with our board and supporting them in any way that I can.
All right. Thank you for those instructions, guys. So let's jump in to what I have planned for us tonight. So the first thing I want to go over with everybody is just kind of like another update on dues, membership, and all of that. So as of the report that came out yesterday, we are just grazing above 5,000 paid members worldwide, which is, I like the number 5,000. That feels good. But we would definitely like to see those numbers bumped up a little bit, especially all over within all of our districts and all of our non-districted regions. So definitely, if you are unsure of your club's standing, please make sure to look out for that. And if you know that your club is unpaid still, please try to get those dues in by February 1st. Because by the time February 1st comes around, clubs are going to be moved into a suspended status, which could mean multiple different things depending on like what your club might be eligible for. Like your students might not be able to apply for scholarships. Your students might not be able to apply for awards at either the district conventions or at our international level. So there's a lot of different benefits that come with paying those dues. We'll get to that a little later, but if you know your club status is still unpaid, please try to get that in by February 1st. If you need any help with that at all, if you're having any trouble when it comes to like reaching out to the membership update center to get those things paid, please reach out to me, and I will help you connect to your respective international trustee, and they might have a few troubleshooting things for you when it comes to working that. Because some of the simple fixes might just be, oh, somebody's email isn't correct like it should be. But your international trustees will definitely be able to help you troubleshoot that as well. And if we need to bring it back to the office, we will do that. But I will definitely help. Oh, thanks for popping my email in the chat, Liz. Yeah, it's just president@circlek.org. But we're ready to help you troubleshoot whatever you need. If you need MUC update, like if something updated in the MUC, trying to get access to the portal, whatever it may be, we're here to work with you guys to try to get our clubs and members paid for so they can get access to like things like the scholarship, the global leadership certificate, and all of that. So please try to get those dues in if you haven't already. And if you have already got those dues in, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. All right. There is going to be like I'm going to throw in a small discussion about dues and everything after we kind of go through all of the updates that we have for you guys. So if you have any questions or anything that you want to say about that, hold on to it. We'll be getting that soon. But next, I also want to talk about the newest update on Brick by Brick. Did I say brick on brick or brick by brick? It's supposed to be brick by brick. But if you don't know, Brick by Brick is Circle K International's newest partnership with UNICEF USA. And this campaign has been going on for a little over about 6-7 months now, since June 2022. And we have raised over $20,000 already, which is super exciting. Our goal for this first administrative year is 40,000. So we are just over 50% of the way there. I think we're at like 21, like 500, something like that afterwards. The exact number is like just above 50%, but I'm counting at 50%. And we're not even 50% of the way up until International Convention. So I'm really happy with the progress that we've done so far. For those of you that might not know a little bit about Brick by Brick, it's our newest service project that helps raise funds to then help build recycling centers through UNICEF through a company called Conceptos Plásticos that will take plastic waste, turn it into sustainable and structurally sound building materials, and then those bricks are used to build schools in the country of Cote d'Ivoire. So like I said, we have a goal for $40,000 to be raised by International Convention, so the end of June, and we are over $20,000 of the way there. So I'm really excited. If your club has had a fundraiser for Brick by Brick and you guys have sent that money in, thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. And also, if your club has held a fundraiser for Brick by Brick, but it hasn't been reported to us, please get that in so we can give you guys some sort of recognition as well. We love to watch our clubs and our districts get really competitive. And there's some districts that are starting to shake some things up this year, along with some schools as well. We've had some districts and some schools really turn out in fundraising. So if any of those clubs are here, thank you so much. But everybody's starting to get a little competitive with it. So if you want to throw your hat in the race as well, please do it. We are more than happy to see that happen. But if anybody would like more information about Brick by Brick, or if you have any ideas for any projects or would like to find some, you can find all of that on our international website. I'll pop the link for that into, oh, perfect. It just got popped in there. But there's some resources on there. There's some more background information on it. And there is a few ideas in there as well. Sam, am I allowed to talk about the idea coming down the project? I mean, coming down the pipeline for Brick by Brick? Or not yet? Are we going to keep it a secret and surprise everybody with it?
Are you talking about the shirt?
t-shirt?
Oh,
yeah.
Go ahead. You can talk about the shirt. I was like, what project are we talking about? Because I got real scared for a second.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fine. Talk about the
everybody just keep staying on your toes. It's fun. But in March, we are going to be releasing a custom ink fundraiser where everybody can order Brick by Brick t-shirts, and all the funds that gets raised by it go to Brick by Brick. And so there's a few ways that we're going to be going with them. People can order them and get them shipped to them directly. They don't need to go through the Circle K store. They don't need to go through international at all. If you're an international club, however, there is an option for us to have those for you at international convention. And we are going to encourage all of the members that order shirts and are going to international convention to bring them with them. So we're going to have a few little craft stations, hopefully set up like tie dyeing, maybe get some signatures on their shirts from people they meet at convention. And we're going to make it one big fellowship activity at convention. So definitely encourage your students to buy those t-shirts. And especially if they're going to go to international convention, to bring them there, because it's going to be one big festival of Brick by Brick, basically. That fundraising campaign is going to be released closer to March. So please be on the lookout for it, but I did want to give you guys a little bit of a heads up on it, so you guys can keep your eye out for it. And speaking of international convention, let's talk about international convention. I did say I had a section kind of parted out for this, so we're going to talk about it now. But international convention, the Circle K International side, is going to be joining Kiwanis this year. So we're going to have both branches in Minneapolis, Minnesota this year in June. The specific dates are June 21st to the 24th. And it's going to be just one big weekend of celebrating all of the work that our clubs have done this year. We're going to have some service aspects, some fellowship aspects, some leadership aspects. It's going to be a weekend full of really making new friends, connecting with other Kiwanis family members, connecting with other Circle K members. And your students will have a chance to elect the new international board. So your students will have a part in saying who gets to replace me next year, which I would think would be pretty cool. So if you guys, if your students are interested in international convention, I highly suggest they look more into it. But remember that advisors are also invited to come to our international convention as well. We would love to see you guys there too. Not only is there going to be the Kiwanis aspect of it, there's also going to be stuff for our advisors as well. You guys will be able to meet other advisors. You'll be able to get a little more in-depth knowledge about CKI and Kiwanis there. So if anybody from your club, including yourself, is interested in coming to international convention, please, please, please check it out. I'm going to throw it to Linda real quick. She's going to say something about it too.
Just really fast. Thanks, Tyler. First of all, nobody can replace Tyler. Secondly, it having been in Minneapolis with the CKI board this last weekend and touring the conference center and such with them, they are so well set up for being able to support all the Kiwanis members that attend, along with the CKI members. So many opportunities to interact on education and projects and different things, but also some good dedicated time for each to do their own thing. So I really encourage you to look for this opportunity to join in.
Yeah, thank you, Linda. But like Linda said, the Minneapolis Convention Center was out of this world. So it's going to be able to, and CKI specifically will have some great spots for our workshops. We're going to have a lot of really fun educational workshops. like I said, the international elections are going to be happening there as well. But I also just want to take a moment because, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm so sorry if somebody here is from the state of Minnesota or the city of Minneapolis. I never thought of Minneapolis as like a destination to go to before I went there last week. And I'm a foodie, everybody. I love traveling and finding new places to eat. And I say the food in Minneapolis was so good. It was kind of like a sleeper hit. You don't expect food in Minneapolis to be like a real highlight, but it was good. So that's just another thing that you guys can look forward to when you come to international convention, is that there were some really good Mexican places there. Like we went to one for dinner one night and everybody enjoyed what they got. There was some like a British pub right near the hotel that the guy is going to be staying at. And there's things all over the city that people truly will enjoy. So I would definitely encourage you guys to keep checking it out. The link is in the chat for more information on International Convention. And you guys will be hearing more come out from the trustees and the board. And Sam also has something to plug here too.
Yes, sorry, Tyler, I didn't want you to move on, but I also do want to mention, it's really important, if you are a Kiwanis member, which I hope many of you are, you will register through Circle K, but you have the opportunity to vote. So during the Kiwanis House of Delegates, I know there's some important things coming down the pipeline this year, and it's really important. They would like you to go over and vote this year. So that'll be taking place on Saturday. And for us, that's really a workshop day, and then our awards will be at night. So we really, really encourage you to register through the Circle K portal when it opens in March, but there will be an option on the registration form to click that you want to vote, and it'll be an added extra cost of, I think, $75. But you'll be able to go in there and then vote, do all of the business stuff for Kiwanis, and then you can come back and join us when you're done with that. So we want you to have the best of both. And again, your registration fee will include anything for Kiwanis. So you can mix and match. If there are some days you don't want to go to the Circle K workshops and you want to go to the Kiwanis workshops, you are absolutely able to do that. For you all, it's really mix and match, and you can make it whatever you want it to be. But we do hope that many of you will come and be a part of the Circle K stuff. So if you have any questions, please contact us. That's just another really exciting opportunity that with our conventions being merged, that you'll get to have the best of both.
Yeah. And Sam, you made me think of two other things that I completely forgot to mention. This year, International Convention, your registration is going to include a few meals. So lunch is included, and there is a day where it's going to be like heavy hors d'oeuvres. I think that's Thursday night of our schedule, that those are also going to be provided. So it's going to be a little better if you've been to an international convention in the past. It's going to work a little better than trying to run around the city to find some lunch or some dinner. And about like an hour, quote unquote, for those meals. So those are going to be included in registration this year. And that weekend that we are in Minneapolis is two of the biggest events that are happening in that state. There is a Taylor Swift concert that weekend, and there is Minneapolis Pride. So we have a lot going on that weekend. But right now we do have Circle K has the DoubleTree Hotel in downtown Minneapolis. That is going to be our hotel. So rooms, as soon as everything opens up for that, that is rooms. If your club is looking at going to international conventions, get your rooms booked as soon as you can, because it's going to be a very, very busy time of year for that city. So we encourage you to do it fast and do it as quickly as possible, and to do it really far in advance and start thinking about it far in advance, so you're not scrambling at the last minute for it.
Tyler, we got one more thing that Michelle and I both thought of. We apologize. We actually had a big convention meeting today, so that's why things keep popping up. Like, oh, this is important, we need to mention this. With your registration fee, you'll also get access to the app, which if you attended in Salt Lake, or I'm going to say maybe last year, Kiwanis had this feature, but you'll actually get to go back and watch any of the stuff that's on the main stage. And what does that mean for Circle K? Anything that we hold on the main stage. So our opening session Sorry, my daughter's talking to dad in the background, so I apologize. So you'll get anything on the main stage, which is our opening session, any of the Kiwanis speakers, and the most important one that I think if when you're talking to your members, their parents always really like this one, is the closing session. So with that registration fee, we're going to offer a virtual component just for virtual attendees. So again, anybody that wants to see that award session, hear their name called, that's a great one to purchase that. And we're working on that with the conventions team. We'll have a price for you. So if you only want to attend virtually, we'll have that price for you soon. It'll be a separate registration link. But then if you register to attend in person, you'll also get access to the app and be able to go back and watch those after the event ends.
Awesome. Thanks, Sam. I didn't know about that part, but that's really cool. So we're going to shift gears and we're going to move on to talk about the Tomorrow Fund. So I mentioned this last time in our last advisor meeting, but for those that may not know, the Tomorrow Fund is a grant that comes from International that helps clubs fund service projects. So a few of the service projects that have been funded in the past by Tomorrow Fund include making greenhouses, setting up community gardens, doing campus-wide cleanups. I think a few of them wanted to repair a few like sheds on their college campus. Some of them set up like little libraries around their city. Really, the world is your oyster in terms of service projects when it comes to what the Tomorrow Fund does. And the board just voted on our our fall portion of Tomorrow Fund applications. So if your club apply for that, you guys will be hearing very soon. But if your club didn't get the chance to apply this last cycle, the newest cycle is going to be opening up April 1st, and that'll be closing June 1st. So if your officers or if any of your members have an idea for a really big service project that they've been wanting to do for a few months now that they keep thinking about, but the financial backing for it might not be there, I 100% suggest that they take a look into the Tomorrow Fund. Like I said, like this is for like our really big service project that our members might not, or our clubs might not have the financial backing for. And that the Tomorrow Fund is really an awesome opportunity for our members in our clubs. And I mean, when I say like you got the world is your oyster with this, it truly is. Like a few of the few of the service projects that that clubs have reached out to asking if it applies for, like restoring an elementary school, help building cabins at like a summer camp. Like really, if you guys have an idea for a service project, 100% look into the Tomorrow Fund. Like I said, the new application opens April 1st and closes June 1st. And unlike it in the past, for the past cycle and a half, I believe, we have moved it to an upfront grant. So it's no longer the reimbursement process that it has been a few years ago. We are now doing an upfront grant, so the clubs don't need to front the money for the service projects anymore. So hopefully that helps. Put a little less financial burden on the clubs for these really big projects. The link was popped in the chat in case anybody is interested in it. Please encourage your officers to look at it because we would love to see more applications come through. And I'm gonna throw it to Sam right now.
I was just going to say, if I might, Tyler, this is Amy, and I'm the president-elect for the Kiwanis Children's Fund. And I just wanted to say thank you for the promo, and I hope that you will take advantage of all the funds. But I just want to say thank you from the Children's Fund for all that you do to both contribute and get people to contribute as well as to take advantage of those grants. So thank you. And I apologize for interrupting.
No worries. Hey, before we move on, I just wanted to jump back to convention. So we're getting a lot of questions in here, and I apologize. I'm trying to respond to everyone, and they all have the same question, so I'm going to address it. With your registration, if you register for CKI, we want you to register for CKI. You actually get a pass to attend all of Kiwanis stuff. So register for CKI. That allows you then to go so you can mix and match. This is really, you get access to everything. And I just want to reiterate that. So you are registered for both events. you'll get all the CKI stuff. But then also there'll be an option to do add-ons. So if your club is distinct, or not your club is, your district is distinguished district, and you want to go to that dinner, on our registration form, there'll be the opportunity to do that as an add-on. So it'll all be on the CKI registered. If you want to go to the different little add-ons, I think it's like a little concert, one of those receptions, all of that will be on the CKI one, and it'll be able to identify, in our system, it'll be able to tell when you're an advisor and a Kiwanis member. So it'll kind of flag us. But your CKI registration will allow you to attend anything for Kiwanis. Nobody will stop you. You get everything. And you also, on that app, will get access to everything as well. So you can go back and watch any of the Kiwanis stuff you missed. So if you attended one workshop and you missed a couple that you also wanted to go to, you'll be able to do any of them that are recorded through that system. And a couple people asked me how much it costs. So the registration cost will be $300. But if you want to vote in the House of Delegates for Kiwanis, so the $300 total to vote, then you'll just need to do that added on extra $75. And so it'll be $375 total, and that'll allow you to vote as well. So are there any more questions? I got several people asking.
And that's just to vote at the Kiwanis section, right? Because the students, well, that'll be included in their registration for CKI.
The students don't need to pay anything extra. It's just you all, if you want to vote, and it'll equal out to the same amount either way. So if a couple people, do I register for Kiwanis or do I register for CKI? We'd love for you to register for a CKI, because there's a secret, you still get into everything. And it's the exact same price if you were just to pull out and register through Kiwanis. If you wanted to vote as well, it's the same price. We just love for you to register that way. So yeah, I'm happy to, again, hopefully that cleared up any confusion. You can go to anything and everything with your registration.
I mean, I'm excited that there's so many questions about International Convention, because that means people are excited. So all I'm going to say is, if there's this many questions, I'm expecting to see y'all there. I'm just saying. But we are going to take a little bit of a turn from Tomorrow Fund, and we're going to start talking about just Circle K International goals for a second. So there are a few goals that I want to just tell you guys about, kind of chat a little bit about, that the international board set this year. I'm not going to bring you into all of them. Don't worry. I'm not going to do that to you guys tonight, but I am just going to talk about a few of them. So we currently stand at over 5,000 members when our goal for the year is 9,200. So we are about more than 54% of the way there. We have about 67% of our paid club goal. So we are just above 240 when our goal for that is 360. We have served over 42,000 hours of service, and we are hoping to have 135,000 hours of service by the time June rolls around. And we have done about a little over 800 interclub events, and we are hoping to have 2,500 interclub events by the end of the year. For a little, just a definition of what an interclub is. An interclub activity is when two or more members from two different CKI clubs come together to do an event, whether that be a service project, a fundraiser, a social, whatever it may be. It just needs to be two people from Club A and two people from Club B coming together to do that. And it counts as an interclub for both clubs. And then for this next one, if you guys, this is an excellent opportunity to recognize our CKI members, but there is a special recognition that is called the Carthage Pullman Award for our, and this is an excellent way to help recognize those students that go above and beyond in your clubs, especially if you're part of a Kiwanis club. This is an excellent way to help recognize maybe the club president that has done a really, really good job this year. If you have a district board member or an international board member that from your club, this is a great way to recognize them. The Carthage Pullman Award is an award that they get recognized at International Convention for. They get a medallion, and the donation for Carthage Pullman goes directly back into, it counts as a donation to the Tomorrow Fund. So it kind of just cycles it all together. You recognize a student for doing well, and it gives another club an opportunity to do an a really big service project in the future. It kind of just cycles. It's kind of like a pay it forward with extra recognition, but it really is an awesome way to recognize your students. I know a few recipients in the past and they've loved it every time. Thank you for dropping the link in the chat, Sam. But it's linked right there, and there's some more information about Carthage Pullman there as well. But I just also want to reiterate that recipients of Carthage Pullman are going to get recognized at International Convention. So it's kind of like a twofer. They can get recognized for actually receiving it, and then they'll get recognized at International Convention for it as well.
And Tyler, one thing I really appreciate, or I guess I saw it for the first time just because I got to go to New Jersey's district convention last year, and I really appreciated that New Jersey, they take a lot of pride in purchasing those for their district. So that's something that districts should consider. Or as a club advisor, I know that there are some clubs that will kind of get together if they have an outstanding senior and they want to donate on their behalf. So I know that it is really special for some people, and it's just a great way if your Kiwanis club wants to recognize an outstanding leader. I've seen it happen in person. They just get so excited. So it's an awesome opportunity, and or several districts I know that they really take advantage of that.
Yeah, the students love it, I promise. So if you guys are interested in it, I 100% suggest that you guys take a look at it. And before we start getting into our little discussion session at the end here, I'm going to throw it to Michelle for a few reminders from her side.
Yeah, so it's always a good time once or twice a year to just think about our Kiwanis International's youth protection policies. I just wanted to remind everyone, as advisors, we ask that you have your background check completed and on file, that you review our youth protection policies once a year, and that you've completed your Presidium training courses. So I'll put a link in the chat. That's just a web page that kind of condenses all the different pieces. So there's just really 3 things that we would like you to do, is to, again, get your background check and have it on file, review our policies, and then take the online Presidium courses. So we know that the students are, not necessarily under 18 or minors, but we find it still really important to remember and practice all those great best practices of how to work with youth and young adults. So we just ask that you please do that once a year, and just kind of review it once a year. We usually remind everybody in October during Youth Protection Week, but I figured I would go ahead and take an opportunity to say that here, and I will pop that into the chat as well, so you can have easy access to that. Thanks, Tyler.
Yeah, no problem. Are there any other staff updates that I forgot to touch on before we jump into discussion?
I don't think so.
I think we're good. All right, cool. So now this is time for us all to have a conversation. I made up a few different discussion questions, but we'll see where the conversation goes for us. But first, I kind of want to just kind of get the general feel from everybody. Now that dues season is kind of coming to a close at February 1, where is everybody standing? And how are our clubs doing when it came to membership this year, when it came to paying dues, how your clubs may have gone about it a little differently? Did you guys have any strategies when it came to dealing with this dues change? So this is the time that we want to hear from you guys on how it went this season for you. So either unmute and I can pick on you, or you can use the raise hand feature. Either way, 100%. I did see Glenn, you are unmuted right now, so take it away.
Okay, well, can you hear me okay? Good. This is my first time meeting Tyler, and Tyler, it's very impressive. And in fact, I must say, I didn't even think about attending the International this year, but now just as soon as I can get together with my wife, it's going to be the first point of discussion. Yeah. I've been instrumental in my club. We've got we're a small club in a small city, but we've got 4K kids. We got 2 builders clubs. We've got 4 key clubs. And so we obviously are interested in expanding the word, and we went on to our local junior college. And I'm beginning now, and please, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer on this, but I've been struggling for a couple of years. And of course, we got our charter and started the week before the major COVID outbreak and the school closed. So we had the rug completely pulled out from underneath us right there and then. And then, of course, the school has been closed for a while. And so trying to get started again. And of course, as you know, every student, everybody, every faculty have had their own problems of trying to get reassociated with their college life and their college goals. And our school is, I think, like a lot of junior colleges, there are people there that are only there for a year, and then moving on to a 4-year, 2 years, moving on to 4-year, 4 or 5 years, because they're working hard and raising a family, and they can only do maybe one course a semester. There's no dorm life, so there's no really on-campus life. So we don't have that core center. But nevertheless, it's a community that's well known and proud of its volunteerism, as is measured by the success of our 3 Kiwanis clubs in this small town. But getting started again is, like I say, has been a real struggle. I want to ask this question from the experienced people in KI, as well as anybody else wants to pop in. In Circle K, I know that it wants to always be welcoming. It wants to be inclusive, but did it really have this kind of a school, this kind of a program that we have here locally? Is that what it also had in mind, to be included in a Circle K? Because I'm not sure if it logically works, as I'm beating my head against the wall. I'd like to believe it does. I'm still carrying on, but I think we're down to maybe 3 or 4 members. I'm not even sure what the roster is anymore. I've been delaying this year paying our dues, even though I know it's due in February, because quite frankly, I don't want to ask of my club, who's going to have to pay the dues, to pay for it if I don't really have a club. If only they got 1 or 2, it's a big enough expense. We paid it last year, and I'm holding off, hoping each week that we meet every week, hoping that I get more and more attendance. We have had a couple of good projects, which has been encouraging. We made we hand stitched about 8 baby blankets to distribute to the shelter. And we've had a cleanup pickup at a popular trail in the area and so forth. But my basic question is, how well did junior colleges do in our Circle K program? Do you have many of them? Do they do well? Are they long-term? Or is it just kind of just a stuck on the side and struggling like mine is? Can anybody address that?
Yeah, so I saw Linda unmuted, and then I will also add in a little bit after Linda, and then we'll throw it to everybody else.
I do not work with a junior college. I work with a university in the club that I'm advisor to. But my first suggestion, outside of the other part of your question, is have you visited, or I'm suggesting that you do visit a couple of other CKI clubs in your area. You may have to travel a bit to get to some, but sitting in on or participating in what's happening in some of the other CKI clubs may give you some better insights as well. But I'm gonna stop talking now so somebody can address junior college for Glenn.
Yeah, so I'll just give a little bit of my history with it. So I was a lieutenant governor. So I oversaw a few schools in my little section of northern New York. And before COVID, one of the options that we looked at was pairing up with these small tech schools that were in our area to create, so 2 different options. There's one, a satellite club, where you have a host club and then a nearby university. And nearby university students can also be a part of the host club CKI. Another option is a multi-school charter, which could be just like a revamping of the club charter of, so the one school and then like another school within the same community, and kind of like a joint club between them. But ooh, Joseph, is it okay if I throw it to you for you to give your perspective on this? On how it goes for you? Okay, one sec.
There we go.
Yeah,
Can you guys
there we
hear
go.
me okay, or is it still scratchy? Can you hear me okay?
Got it.
Okay. So I've been the advisor for we in New Jersey, we don't call them junior colleges, we call them community colleges. So I've been the advisor here at Brookdale Community College for 10, 11 years now. It is a constant wave, and it will go up and it will go down. Sometimes you'll have 20, 25 students, sometimes you'll have 2 or 3. And that wave, you know, the biggest thing is to get, what we try to do is get the students that we know, because our students normally stay for 2 years. So we try to get those students to get their friends involved in it. But we always have like those cliques that will eventually graduate and we'll be left with no students. What we did last year was we reached out to other clubs in our school. Now, the school that I'm the advisor at, it over the next couple of years, it's gonna be very hard to continue to get them rechartered every year and everything, just because the school is actually shutting down campuses because of less enrollment and everything. But what we started to do is we got the international students organization involved, and we got 12 people out of that because they were really gung-ho about helping out in the community. So a big thing that you can do is, if there's other clubs at the college, reach out to those other clubs, because what we realize is students that are in other clubs need service hours, and that's what Circle K offers, is service hours and leadership hours. And those clubs, they need the hours for them, but those clubs don't necessarily offer them to them. So we, we kind of work together for all of that. It's just an option. It is always hard though, Glenn. Sorry to tell. I wish I could tell you, oh, it's easy, but it's not with community colleges. I mean, I was in OK back from 2003 to 2007. Our community college was one of the biggest clubs in the district at the time. And then, a whole bunch of people graduate and just starts over. And I've rebuilt this club. I want to say I'm on my 4th rebuild over 12 years. So it's just constantly staying with it, staying in contact with those students. So.
Tommy, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me, Tommy?
Yes.
Yeah, Tommy, thank you for that. That's a great suggestion about reaching out to the other clubs on the campus, because my advisor is the one who's in charge of the other clubs on the campus, and yet we haven't tied into that yet, and all of them suffered after COVID in terms of their participation, and in fact 3 of the clubs disappeared. There's only one left besides ours, but the president of the school would like to see that ginned up again. So you just gave me a great idea right there. I thank you for that right off the bat. That's a pearl I can walk away with. I know there's a lot of business, and I don't want to hog the screen here, but God, I got to tell you a little story real quick if I could, because it's Tommy, right? Or no, it's Joseph. Joseph, yeah. You got a picture in the background there of Yosemite. That's a well-known icon in Yosemite Park. As I'm attending your meeting right now, I just heard down in the garage, my daughter and son-in-law and our 1.5-year-old grandson are coming to visit us this weekend, and they're here, and I'm going to be ignoring them while I'm attending this meeting. But they're visiting from their new dwelling. They transferred from Washington, D.C. He works for National Park Service. She works for World Wildlife. And their assignment where they live now is Yosemite, in the park, in a staff house. And that scene right behind you is the scene they get to see every day. And so you just kind of pushed my button with that background picture you got there, and I couldn't resist sharing that with everybody else. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you for your question, Glenn. We really do appreciate it. Because there's other community colleges and other junior colleges that are probably going through the same exact thing.
Yeah.
But how has everybody else kind of navigated through this dues change? How have our clubs and our officers reacted? How's it going? Would anybody else? Tammy, I see you unmuted. Would you like to share?
Yeah, I just wanted to add a little bit to the community college piece. You know, our club was dormant since 1995, and we just got our charter back. And what we've been doing to try to get members too is we've been going through the key clubs at the high schools. And something else that we've been doing whenever they have student events, like in the fall and spring semesters, we always have a club and resource fair. So we always have a table there, and we talk to we talk to potential members and things like that. So, it's a matter of us, getting out into the student community on campus. And then, when people leave, because we have that 2-year rotation, that's why we're even partnering with the key clubs like O'Neill School, Pinecrest or Pinecrest High School, places like that. We're partnering with them on our Serve One Saturdays and things like that. And I think that's how we're beefing up our membership. And we actually have 17 paid members this year. So, that's how we're doing it. It might not be the answer for everybody, but it seems to work for us. And, we get them involved in Kiwanis as well.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Tammy. So we have a few more discussion points that we want to hit right now. But how did an overall, you guys navigated okay? You navigated so what? Not well? How are we feeling? Just as feeling better. I see at least one other thumbs up. 2, let's go. 3, let's go. We like to see it. All right. So the next little bit of discussion that I want to talk about, which is awesome because another KI staff member, Michelle Studi Campbell, just joined us, is we have the Global Leadership Certificate available for our members as part of the kind of benefits that they get for paying their membership. And this Global Leadership Certificate is a great way for our students to get certified for a bunch of different things, for skills like public speaking, project planning, recognizing bias. It really is a certification course that is pretty inclusive to a lot of different majors. Because I am I'm a STEM kid through and through, science, math, all of that. And I still find, and some of the more humanities skill-based courses are still relevant to my field of study as well. But we have a question for you guys. How can we keep encouraging our students to take these courses? The GLC, we keep updating the courses. We keep adding more course load to it. So how can we keep encouraging our students to take it? And how else do you guys think we can be promoting it to really reach our student bodies and our members a lot better? So how are you guys feeling? Yeah, I see Rosalind. I'm so sorry if it's I'm so sorry.
So my name's Rosalind, and I grew up in Circle K as well. I think I actually met you the other night, Tyler, on another Zoom call. But I'm in currently a really small Circle K district. Large geographically, but 3 clubs or something like that. And so what goes on in Circle K nowadays is so different than what I had. But I think if there's some way you can promote even interclubs, maybe people doing stuff, maybe Circle Kers doing some of the stuff together for a date, whether it's on Zoom or whether it's in person, but really try and build up the camaraderie of Circle K and what what that camaraderie looks like down the road. I mean, for some of us, I don't know if anybody else was in Circle K, but like I still keep in touch with people from Circle K that I was in Circle K with, and I still have like lots of friends from, I was in the Pacific Northwest, so I have a lot of friends from US, probably a lot more from the US than most people would, just because I have my connections with Circle K. But I think really promoting that whole, the whole interclub, the whole getting together, because I know when I spoke to, like when I've talked to, whether that's texting or through email, is the club that I'm dealing with, they don't really understand like the largeness of Circle K. And I've also learned too, as I was putting together the dues, because our club pays for it, is that the district board isn't really involved with the local club. So there's not a lot of meshing. So it's almost like there's two Circle K clubs on campus, I think. So anyways, I just think really building up that camaraderie would be a really great idea.
And then I see Stacy, you unmuted too.
Oh, so is the question that you're asking, how do we get and encourage more to take the course load or to the courses for the certificate degree or the certificate in leadership and the courses that are offered by so one of the things that we've been working on and trying to start an initiative in the next academic year is to get our members college credit for their involvement in Circle K. So I can do this and facilitate this, and not a lot of people can facilitate this, but my organization or my campus, I can do this through independent study. And so you just gave me a great idea, is that to do more structuring, is that to have them do one of the courses for credit through the independent study. So I think I'm working on the document right now and then also having groups of students do it together to tackle the camaraderie issue that was just brought up, and having them maybe as a group work together on the course, and then we have more people getting more credit. But I'm working on it now for next academic year, so I think I'm going to include that as one of the options, because I mean there's options that they can do it 3 credits, 2 credits, 1 credit. This would obviously probably be at the 3 credit tier. And so they're able to, one of the things I think that we struggle with in these groups and organizations is that students never have the time to dedicate, because they have to take that 1 extra class. They have to take the elective. And so the independent study, at least at UConn, will count towards, they have to take something like 45 credits of 2,000 and above level courses. And the independent study is a 3,000 level course. So they're able to add that in, use the work that they want to do and the learning that they get from the club, and also take credit and dedicate the time to it. So I think that might be a way in which we could bump up our numbers. I'm done.
Yeah. So I've heard like GLC date night. I liked the way that it was phrased there, trying to incorporate it into course structures. I mean, if any of your students are like specifically communication and leadership students, 100% sell this to them. This is perfect and right up their alley. But Michelle Studi Campbell, I saw your hand up, so take it away.
Oh yeah. Hi everybody. Sorry I was late. I had after school activities till like 8:30 and then just rushed right home to join you. So apologies. I just want to say love all the great ideas. We've been working on the Global Leadership Certificate for about 3 years now. So for anyone who's looking at accreditation or looking at within your own campus structures about credit hours, we can provide all of the framework and documentation when this was created from our consultants that talks about kind of the rigor and the skill sets that we're going after and so forth. So we'd love to have some deeper dives on some of those conversations for anyone who's interested, and provide that backup on the data as well. So thank you all.
Yeah. And I do want to be conscious of everybody's time. I think we're just going to go for another like maybe 2-3 more minutes, and then I will do like a little wrap up around like 9:05 Eastern. So just hold on a little bit longer with me, guys. I know it's a long night, but we're doing a lot of really good work. But I just want to also kind of open this space up and ask, how are club elections going to be looking? How is going to be the turnover of officers going to be looking? Most of the time, theoretically, at least on the Circle K timeline, club elections should be happening at some point within February and March, so they can take over in April. But how is it looking for everybody? Is everybody feeling okay? Would anybody like some to talk about, like any help they would like or any suggestions that they may need? But how's officer turnover in elections going to be looking like for everybody? Yeah, feel free to unmute or raise your virtual hand and I'll call on you if you have something to. And I see, oh, Tracy, take it away.
Sure. Hi, I'm Tracy. I'm with Arizona State University, and we are having our nomination process next Wednesday night. And then the following, we're having the actual elections, and we always do it before our district convention so that when the students go to district convention and they have meetings for their particular positions there, the current and then the incoming can meet together and begin that transition process. We're going to have, I think, a little bit of turnover, but we also have some leaders kind of moving through the pipeline. And this year we do have a lot of leaders at the district level as well. But our club, I think I'm going to see some members kind of move up the ranks there.
Awesome. That's exciting to hear.
Yeah.
So how is everyone else? Ooh, I have a question in the chat. My club president means well. My club president means well and has good ideas for project, but has trouble getting members to follow through on the planning stages. So any suggestions? I used to be a club president. Let me tell you, that is one of the hardest things. Is member engagement is one of the hardest things. So thank you, Jay, for sending that in the chat to us. But it really is one of the hardest things. And some of the things that I did when I was a club president, I offered food at these projects, at these planning meetings. Always having snacks always helps. I mean, college students, I'm a graduate student now and I still love free food. And also anytime that I did anything like planning or service, there's always an underlying sense of fellowship there. So whether it was be like, oh, I like for this like upcoming project that we have or this upcoming meeting, like if it's a work meeting, let's make a playlist and get suggestions from other members of like what they want to hear played on that playlist. But does anybody, other advisors have any suggestions on trying to get on member involvement so not everything falls on your board of officers? Is pretty much, yeah, that's what we want to tackle here. Tammy, go for it.
I guess for us, when we first started out, we were having meetings every week, and some people were getting tired of that because it was too often. So we kind of lightened up on the number of meetings that we have. And when we have a meeting, we try to make it meaningful because, what they want to do service activities. Students are pressed for time. So we always try to make it meaningful. Like sometimes we'll have a meeting and we'll be discussing things as we're working on a project. And some of the projects we've done placemats and, handmade greeting cards and things like that for some of the nursing homes that are nearby. And we also have a project, and we've done this with other clubs as well. And we got support from our SGA for this, but we make tie blankets for the Northmore Family Resource Center. And the last time we did it in the Student Commons area in the Dempsey Student Center. And people were walking up and they were like, oh, what y'all doing, And there were people that joined in, and we actually got a couple other people to join the club because we were down there doing that activity, especially after they heard what it was all about. And the reason we do it, the Northmore Family resource center, they have children that are taken out of abusive situations and neglect and things like that. And when they go to see a counselor there, they're going to have to talk, in intake sessions and stuff like that, and therapy sessions. So what they do is the counselor gives one of the blankets to the child, so they'll have something, to snuggle in or whatever while they talk. And they're so popular that, there's a constant need for them. And I actually want to write that grant that was talked about earlier to try to see if we can get some more money for supplies to keep that project going, because it's ongoing. The need is ongoing, and it's not going to let up.
That sounds like a perfect Tomorrow Fun project to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. But if anybody else has any suggestions, please pop them in the chat. But I'm gonna do my little wrap up because I gave the deadline of 9:05 Eastern. I'm gonna go over it a little bit. Sorry. Everything that I did in college was just a few minutes over a deadline, but we don't need to talk about that. But thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I'll always remember that anybody on the leadership team, me, Michelle, Sam, Linda, Liz, we're always here for you guys as a resource. Our emails are pretty simple. I mean, I'm president at circlek.org, so feel free to just blow up my inbox if you guys truly want to. But truly, thank you guys for being here tonight. We appreciate all the work that you guys do as our club and Kiwanis Advisors. You guys really are some of the backbones of our clubs, and we really do appreciate all that you do. We hope to see you guys in not Indianapolis, Minneapolis. Oh my gosh, I'm starting to say it wrong now. Minneapolis, Minnesota, in June this summer. And if you guys are a CKI alumni, please feel free to sign up for the CKI alumni program. We would love to connect with you guys as well. But thank you for all the ideas tonight. Thank you for all the engagement. Thank you for all the work that you do. And remember that I'm always an open resource for you guys. But it's 9:07 Eastern now. You guys are free. Thank you guys so much for being with us tonight. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, Tyler. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Tyler.
Thanks. Good night.
Have a great night, everyone.